Yo, what's going on? Great to be with you. David Tian here, and welcome to day 3 of Mission Transformation Live. Can you believe it? It's been 3 days now, coming into 3 days, and I've been so touched and moved by so many of your live entries for our missions. And we've come a long way in just a short 2 days now, coming into day 3 here. And it's been amazing. And if you've been moved, if you've been participating and been moved by what we've been doing together here, today we're going to take it up a whole other level and think about taking this transformation that you're getting in just a short 3 days and being able to do that every day, every week, every month, every year, and having that compound, not just add up, but to actually compound and give you that exponential growth, because they build all of these lessons, all these insights, all these realizations, all this momentum and inspiration and integration and emotional growth builds on each other, builds on each of them, and creates a compounded growth. And it's an amazing thing. And it's part of the reason why I wanted to do 3 days in a row rather than like once a month or go on live once a month or something like that, but to have it all 3 days in a row and to have intensive sessions. You know, these are 2-hour plus sessions, but that's because it's giving you a little taste of what it's like to get that compounded growth. And I've been so impressed by those guys who just went for it, even despite some technical difficulties, especially on day 1. And you guys persisted and you had these massive breakthroughs. And it's been just such an honor and a blessing to be part of that. And I just want to encourage all those who've been posting live in our Man Up group. Thank you so much, and keep doing that. And I'm going to be getting into a little bit more about how that can help you grow. Just you being part of this community, engaging in it, participating, going all out and encouraging each other and supporting and challenging each other along this journey as well. So just saying a quick hello to everyone on with me right now. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Good morning. 7:16 in Illinois. All right. Well, thank you for getting up early and participating here. So good morning to you. Kim Hong, good to see you out in Malaysia. I think you and I are the same time zone. I'm in Taiwan right now, and it's just after 9 p.m. here. In case you don't know who I am, I should say I'm David Tian, and for over the past 14 years now, I've been helping hundreds of thousands of people in over 87 countries attain success, happiness, and fulfillment in life and love. And it has been my great joy and honor to be leading you guys through Mission Transformation Live. Hey, Paul and Floyd, great to see you guys as well. And just say hello wherever you're tuning in from. All I see is an eyeball and a number. So it'd be great to just see who is on with us now and what time it is for you, where you are in the world. We have people tuning in these past 2 days here from all over Asia, all over Europe and UK, and all over North America and Mexico and Canada and and the USA, from all over the place. So just let us know where you're tuning in from. And I know some people are tuning in from Latin America and South America as well, and some from Africa and India. So just putting it all out there that we are connecting all around the world through this interesting medium of the internet. It's not all bad. And yeah, Kim Hong in Malaysia, and great to have you on, man. Dipto in Denmark, good afternoon to you. It's 2 p.m. over there. Awesome. Hey, John, great to see you here with us as well. And this mission transformation is all about how to uncover your true authentic self. And if you've been with us since day 1, we've already been doing that, even if you don't realize it. So you may not be conscious of it, but it's already been happening. We have to continue the momentum though, or that door will close. Just saying, we're opening that door to uncovering that true authentic self, but it can easily close if you do nothing after this. So if you do an intense 3 days with us, and then you just go back to the way you were before, what do you expect, right? So it's just sort of like, if you work out once, you still have to keep working out. Like it's an amazing workout you just did, you discovered and you learn how to do it, but you got to keep doing it. And that's the same with any important thing in life. It's even important for the minor things that are still important, like brushing your teeth or taking a bath or shower. You don't just do it once and think you're going to be clean for the rest of your life. So it's the same thing here. I'm showing you, I'm leading you through a process that will help you uncover your true authentic self. And I'm also helping you break free from negative thought patterns, negative thought cycles, behavioral patterns, patterns of feeling. These are all ways that we get stuck. Especially on day 1, I was addressing those parts that are already quite cognizant, conscious of being in that stuck place. And these 3 days are also about how to discover the power of your vulnerability. And so many of you have, and I've been seeing it live in your eyes, on your face, in your live video entries in the Man Up group, and it's just been so touching. I really want to honor that and encourage that even more, that actually takes so much courage, doesn't it? And it takes power, and it takes bravery, and it takes taking action, that step forward to do that thing. That being vulnerable is kind of a scary thing. But when you put it out there, it's a really great exercise for being comfortable with these parts of yourself, welcoming and accepting all of the parts of yourself. Because if you can't accept them, they won't change, they won't morph. All of our lives, we've been hard on ourselves. I know many of you have been hard on yourselves. I've been seeing that in our first mission. That was the week leading up to day one, where I witnessed so many of us are so hard on ourselves. And I switched what I was doing for day one to address that. I didn't want to just dive into day two, because some of those achieving parts, those parts that just want to crush it, that just want to rush to the edge of your comfort zone and challenge and all that, those parts, and if those parts are leading you, and if achievers will lead with those parts are generally coming from a place of criticism towards those other parts that maybe they're judging as lazy, as shameful, as not good enough, as whiny bitches, or whatever terminology they use, pejorative terms they use. So I wanted to address the parts that are getting bullied, or maybe are down on, being criticized first. And that's a big breakthrough when you discover how powerful those parts are. That guys who, especially when it comes to seduction, which is an emotional thing, like achievers aren't really great at seduction, because the mode that they use to handle other problems, like math problems and engineering problems and school work problems, isn't the mode that you use when you deal with emotional intelligence, and where the end result is supposed to be some kind of emotion, right? That is going to take a new creative part of your brain. And that part of the brain is so connected to those earlier childlike parts of us that have the joy, the wonder, the spontaneity, the play, the adventurousness. But those parts are also vulnerable. And if they're being criticized by the march forward and just get it done parts, then there's going to be this discord within us. And this is an age-old, what therapists call polarization. You see this in literature that's 2,000 years old. This battle between these parts, or group of parts, inside the same human being. And we now know how to resolve those polarizations. And these past 3 days, and today, I'm really taking it up into integration, but I've been addressing each side of the polarization separately and helping them relax, to let go of their fears and their neurotic patterns, and to move forward into a way that's more productive for you as a whole. And ultimately creating for you a fulfilling, joy-filled life. Isn't that amazing? You got to put a price tag on that, and this is free. So I just want to say hello to William as well. Oh, he's asking, how long will these be available? This will be available until December 20th, Sunday night. So for 1 week from the beginning of the challenge, of the mission. So take advantage of these. We're going to be deleting all these videos in a week. Okay, well, less than a week now. So in like 4 days as of this filming. So William, go check those out. Terry, great to see you joining us as well. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Where in the world are you? And like I was saying, this is all about the same transformation that I've gone through, of breakthroughs, of heartache, of despair, of having to connect with those parts of myself that have been disowned, or that I exiled, or parts of me had exiled. And then also helping to understand those parts that have been have accounted for a lot of my worldly success, if whatever worldly success I've achieved. The hardworking parts, the fighter parts, the warrior parts, the achiever parts, because they too can become tired and overworked, overwhelmed, and can panic and have anxiety and all kinds of stress. And listening into them and bringing to them the presence of my true self, which and I went into that the past 2 days. What therapists call the true self is a higher self in all of us, almost a divine presence in us that is full of confidence and courage and compassion and care and connectedness and creativity and a kind of centeredness and a groundedness. And that exists in all of us. But for most people, they don't have any access to that, or they've long ago ignored that part of themselves, that higher self, and have stopped listening to that. And that part is sort of like the analogy I was using yesterday, is like the coach of the team, and now he's locked in the locker room, and the team is just going crazy, just not coordinated at all. And that's how most people are. And they usually have 2 or 3 team members who are running the ball and running all the plays and hogging the ball, and they're tired, and they don't even know how to coordinate with the other teammates. In fact, they see that half the team is getting in the way and just want to get rid of them. They're fighting amongst each other. And of course, this is going to be a horrible team. And part of the process of the therapeutic process that I do and have been doing for the past few years, especially, but also over the course of my several years of work in online coaching and over 14 years of work of coaching people all around the world, has been this therapeutic process of bringing harmony to your inner system and introducing to yourself your own true self and the leadership that the true self can bring, so that now you're operating in harmony and integrated, and everyone's playing their roles in the same way that feels good for them. And you work with each of the team members, all of your parts, and you help them come to their fullness and their potential so that they find their own fulfillment. And all of that adds up to a full life, a fulfilled, joyful life. Okay, so you've noticed that I've been talking about my students, some of my clients like Mark and Darren. You've also, if you've been participating in this mission, you've already gone inside or you should have gone inside and seen some of your other mission members and their live video entries, and seen the transformation just in 1 or 2 days that they've experienced. And some who've been with my work for a few months who have experienced massive transformation in just a short amount of time. And today I want to just mention to you that our Platinum partnership is open. I've not announced it in any other place except live right here. So you're getting a couple days early access to go check it out. And for those who are watching this, there is a special coupon code to save $250 off. And that coupon code, I wrote it up above, and there's a glare from that light, so you might not be able to see it. It's just Mission Transformation Live, one word, no spaces, and it's all caps, Mission Transformation Live. If you have any questions about how to use that, just write to support@orderdating.com. Also, I've been getting a lot of messages since yesterday about this. If you own any of the following, I think it's 4 courses, you also qualify for further coupon codes that can be stacked so that you could get hundreds more dollars off of the Platinum partnership. And those courses are any of our multi-week courses, the big ones that are 25, 35 hours or 50 hours or more. So those are Freedom You, Invincible, Rock Solid Relationships, or Lifestyle Mastery. If you own any of those 4 courses, write into support@orderdating.com, and they will, with the email address you use to register for these courses, and our support team will look up for you manually how many coupon codes which coupon code you qualify for and how big your discount will be. Okay, so and then on top of that, tell them you know about Mission Transformation Live, and then they'll add that extra $250 off on top of all of your other coupon codes. Okay, so and then you'll get your own custom coupon code. All right, so write to support@orderdating.com if you have any questions at all about this. But just wanted to let you know, if you're the owner of any 4 of those multi-week courses, again, the Freedom You, Invincible, Rock Solid Relationships, Lifestyle Mastery. Oh, and if you got annual access to the Legendary Coaching Group, or you've been in the Legendary Coaching Group for more than 12 months, write into or support@orderdating.com with your registration email, and they will calculate for you your total discount and then issue you a custom coupon code. And then just mention you also know about the Mission Transformation Live coupon code, and they'll add in an extra $250 off for you. Sweeten the deal, right? Happy holidays. Okay, so I just really want to reward the minority of those who are doing this, because our email list is over 108,000 active contacts right now, and there's maybe 50 people total participating in the Mission Transformation, and maybe 24 who are going live. So the fact that you're doing this, and I don't know what's going on with everyone else, but it's also 3 days. I gave them like a week's advance notice. So I don't know, maybe it takes some people a while to open their emails or something. But I don't know, maybe they get busy during the holidays or something. But if you're watching this now, power to you, on the few. And I'm happy to give this coupon code to you to reward you for stepping up so that you can commit. See how powerful it is to commit to your own growth, to investing in yourself, to valuing yourself. It all begins with that, because day one, we're talking about how there are parts of ourselves that we don't value. And that's where our pain is held. That's where the hurt is. There's the norm in men's development is to shit on parts of our own selves, to say, oh yeah, there's that part that is hurt, that just wants to play. Well, fuck you, you piece of shit. We're moving on. Hey, man up and keep moving. Like, we know this. This is so old shit, man. You heard that when you were 12 fucking years old from your gym teacher. How is that deep? And yet everywhere I go on YouTube, it's just, yeah, work harder. Yeah, never give up. Like, this is the same old shit. Right now, it comes from a guy who's like a badass athlete. So it's visually appealing to watch. And maybe he's also entertaining with his voice and so on. So it's entertainment. And there's no doubt, I love watching action. This is my favorite genre, action movies. So I love it. But this is not actually going to help you in the long run. This will help you in the short term. So if you need to man up for a day, or if you're in battle, literally, you know, it's not a great time to do therapy. But I'm assuming you're not getting shot at, or that your life is not at stake, or you're not in survival mode. And even if you are in survival mode, if you're not in survival mode out of an objective reality, like people are actually chasing you, or there's a wild animal chasing you in the savannah, but that it's happening in your subjective reality, that is, your mind is perceiving yourself as being in survival mode, the thing to do is not to try to power through it. The thing to do is to stop and do what we did on day one and start from there. And that sequence that I've taken us through from day one, where we went over your vulnerable parts, and well, we didn't go over, that's the wrong phrase. We attended to your vulnerable parts and their pain and their hurt, and took them seriously and really listened to them, and just were just to be with them, not to try to change them, not to try to fix them or solve them, but to just to be with them and listen to them and attend to them. That very act in and of itself helps them to relax. And as they relax, the energy in them shifts, and the energy in you and your system and your team you shifts. And then it becomes possible for these other parts that have this active energy of coming to the, really enjoying getting to the edge of your comfort zone. Those parts can now take a fuller role because there aren't other parts blocking. But then also speaking to those parts that we did on day two that tend to be more critical of these more vulnerable parts, and realizing that those parts that are kicking ass, or they really enjoy that, if we over rely on them, if we make them run too many plays, if we work them ragged, and if they are doing it out of a need for significance or for status, or very often out of fear that if they don't succeed or if they don't achieve, then they won't be good enough, and that they keep setting that goal higher and higher in a way that is still set by fear, that they're still never good enough. And that's a sign if you keep just ratcheting it higher because you don't think you can rest. If you rest, well, then you're lazy fuck and you won't get anything done. That is coming from a place of fear. And that needs therapy, because that part is now going to be acting in neurotic ways that won't serve you in the long run, especially. So we paused and spent time with them on day two, and then help them see, and the system see, your team you, maybe we'll say team instead of system, team you, see the power of decision. Because all transformation is preceded by decision. All transformation is preceded by decision. In fact, if you decide not to transform, there's nothing anyone can do to you that will force you to transform in the long run. Like, you can be coerced, I guess you can get beat up physically, but I guess we can transform you physically by like cutting parts of your body off. But what I mean is mental and psychological transformation. If you resist, it gets that much harder, and it's almost impossible. And there's very few instances that I can think of true brainwashing. If you resist, if you consciously say, no, I will not. And that power of decision is even stronger to say, yes, I will. And that is why yesterday we moved into the positive decision of, don't decide not to do something, figure out what it is you want to do and decide to do that and move forward in that direction. Then you don't have to use your energy to reject. You can just use your energy to move forward in the right direction. And so many of us are stuck in the stuck place. And the reason that stuckness is happening is because we have this inner polarization of parts that are self-sabotaging, and we talked to those parts on day one, and then parts that are trying to move forward and they're being pulled back. And even the parts that are trying to move forward, we like to think that they're good because society valorizes them. Your gym teacher might have really loved, I'm picking on gym teachers, sorry. I don't know, maybe it's my own gym teachers, but your gym teachers love those parts. Just ignore the pain, ignore all that stuff. Yeah, okay. So the thing is, I'm also alerting you to the fact that almost all achievers are striving out of fear that they're not good enough, and that if they stop moving forward, then they will be not good enough. And then the love and connection that they crave will be taken away from them. Or if they don't even feel that very often, they don't feel the love and connection yet, that's not forthcoming. That's not coming because they stopped beating themselves up to move forward. When the whole thing needs to stop, right? Because you've got, like the analogy there, coaches off the field, locked up in a locker room, and you've got this quarterback, or this, it's probably like a linebacker, taking the ball from the quarterback and running it through. And it's just like chaos. No, you're not supposed to do it. And he just keeps running the same play, beating himself up, hitting a wall. And this will continue for almost everybody unless they go through these therapeutic processes. And it's an amazing thing when you think of how many people don't know this. And you think, I know many of you, especially those that really resonated with day one, you look around and you think everyone's got it together and you're the odd one. You look around thinking everyone's normal and everyone's, happy. And if you get to know them better, you will realize that they're not. That people only seem normal or average or they got it all together until you get to know them better. And unless they've gone through this therapeutic processes, they will be stuck there. And now with life expectancy in the 70s and 80s for most people, most countries, you're looking at a really long period of settling in life. So I don't want that for you. This is part of the reason why I do these live free. All right. But I want to tell you that you've got to keep this momentum going. And part of you understands that, right? It just makes sense, right? So we're doing these 3 days, and I just want to say at the outset, I'm going to keep these videos up, the replays here going until Sunday. You can redo parts of this, whichever really resonated with you during this week before we take them down. But even better, if you're ready to step up, you can check out the Platinum Partnership. The link is in the description here, and you have until Sunday as well for that. If you have any questions about Platinum, you can ask me here. And then you can always write to support@auroradating.com. They're standing by. Okay, so just checking in here. Hey, Edmund, good to see you. Hey, Jonathan, great to see you. Tang Chun from KL in Malaysia, great to have you on. So we got multiple people from Malaysia watching. That's awesome. Excellent. He's saying, thank you again for doing this, and I really can't thank you enough. I started meditating about 1.5 years ago, and it's genuinely changed my life. Watching your trainings helped me understand myself and people better. I'm better at handling difficult and unhappy situations, and I'm learning to be kinder to myself and others. Whoa, man, that is awesome. Big props to you, Tang Chun. That is fantastic. He says, in the last 2 months, I've been able to actively practice mindfulness outside of meditations. In a time like this, I can't overstate how important and what a huge breakthrough that was for me. Yes. So in what should be a terrible year, I've experienced more growth than I've ever imagined possible, and I'm feeling blessed instead. That is beautiful. I'm so happy for you, Tang Chun. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart, and I'm really excited to be part of this to see where it takes me. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know it took some time to type that up. So I really want to give you props for that. That's awesome. Thank you for reminding me too about this year. All right. So 2020. So imagine if in the 2021, you were able to use 2020, which is for many of us, a big dip in our mental and emotional health, or there's a challenge to us psychologically, and maybe financially, in all kinds of other ways, maybe physically, because the gym got shut down or whatever. And whatever that dip was for you, I know many people have just sort of gotten in a rut of just watching Netflix and ordering Uber Eats or something like that every day. And they got in this rut. And now 2020 is coming around the corner. And a lot of people just be happy to get back to where they were in 2019. How about if you were to use this dip? Because every great breakthrough is preceded by a dip. I've covered this in other live shows. That sounds kind of weird. Preceded by, it sounds kind of sexual. But every great breakthrough is preceded by a dip to prepare you from that dark period in the tunnel, like the chrysalis, like the caterpillar going into that tomb until it emerges and the whole thing crumbles and emerges as a butterfly. That dip, that dark period is a time of testing. And it's a time, it's sort of like the off season, or maybe even better, it's that time when it's like, I don't know, it's been a long time since I watched Western sports, but it's like that you're down whatever points in the fourth quarter, and you think nothing's gonna happen, and now you test your team. You're all that preparation comes into play. Now it's all about that. Are you going to come out and make 2021 even stronger as the best year of your life? We're coming down to, what is the date now? About 2 weeks to the end of this year. And let's make 2020 a jumping off point for the best year of our lives. Imagine if that were the case for you. And if you were to look into the future 1 year from now and see that you have now experienced this growth in your mastery of your own emotions, of your own mind, that you now see that your emotions are the results of your own thoughts and interpretations of the objective reality, and that you've got so much practice and skill now because you've been working through it during the year in all different kinds of permutations and situations and different modalities, that now you're able to tap into that to go and find those parts that are feeling some distress, stress, anger, sadness, whatever it is that's throwing you off, and able to attend to them and know exactly why they're feeling that way just by tuning into them and being able to be with them, so that the thoughts now can change the emotions themselves. In addition, being able to have practice and skill using your physical body and knowing exactly when and how to use your physiology to alter your emotions, and how powerful and impactful emotions are in every area of life. And in fact, if you think deeply enough, that you realize that the whole point of life is to feel. That the great lie that society, and especially capitalist, well, actually every society, tells you is to train you because they need a cog in the wheel of their machine so that you will contribute to their system, and that they need you as a good worker. And that doesn't lead to your own personal happiness. And if you're going to take charge of your own personal happiness, you realize that the whole point of life is not to be a cog in the wheel of the machine, of the system, of the whatever, or the capitalist, communist, whatever government you're in, but to be you fully and to feel all the things that life can give you. Joy, even sadness, and having it to be beautiful, and realizing that there's a beautiful sadness, and the joys of anger and sometimes rage, and feeling the fullness of that, and play and spontaneity, and of course, wonder, enjoying creativity and confidence and courage. And for many of you, I know you found me through dating. So finding that love and connection and intimacy and sexual pleasure, of course, but also the feeling of significance that you can bring to yourself and meet for yourself on a 10 out of 10. Imagine that at the end of this year, you're able to feel all of those, and they're within your control because you know the roots of them, the whys and hows of them, and you're able to, even if you go off into a direction that's new to you, that throws you off, that maybe feels uncomfortable at first, you're so used to doing this that you're able to immediately attend to those parts of you that are in distress and help them undo that and let go of the burdens and to resolve. And then now you're seeing the payoff, which you probably didn't expect, most people don't realize, of a really strong control of your mastery of your own emotional states in your professional life, in your career, and of course, in your personal relationship and dating life, but even with your family and your friends, so your social circle and all of that, and especially your lifestyle as well. I brought this up yesterday of how important it was that many of us didn't appreciate our lifestyle choices until we were forced to in 2020, when all of these options were taken away from us, and then we panicked because we didn't appreciate what we had. But then there were those who took hold of their lifestyle, took control of their lifestyle, made choices and decisions, and took those windows of opportunity that set them up so that even when those windows closed, they were in a great place because they took those decisions, they made the decisions, and then they took the actions that forced them to follow through. And that was the big theme from yesterday. What if you were to look into the future a year from now and see and feel this tremendous skill within yourself? And the best way to do this, in my opinion, is through these 3 C's. And very quickly, I'll just rattle them off here, and I'll go into more detail later on. With those 3 C's, you can write this down. The 3 C's are, the first is consistency. So I've been reminding you that this is 3 amazing days when we've gone immersive and intensive. but it's just 3 days. It's less than 1% of the year, right? It's less than 1%. Now, you want to continue this. I want you to continue this momentum, to continue this rate of transformation, of breakthrough, of insight, and that is possible. All right, so consistency. And then one of the best ways to ensure consistency is coaching, getting a mentor. And it could be in the form of a big brother, or ideally a mentor who's gone ahead 10, 20 years down the road from you, down the line, so he can help you anticipate any challenges and obstacles that you're going to face along your journey. Or it could come just from a peer that's a little bit ahead of you. But ideally a coach or a mentor who does this for a living, so he knows exactly, it's not just sharing, oh, this is what I've done in the past, but also knows what other people in other situations that are different from his own or her own can help you along that journey. And whether it's with me or with someone else, you've got to get the coaching. You've got to get as much coaching as you can get. I know for some people, personal private coaching is exorbitant or is too expensive. If you can afford it, whenever I can, I will try to buy the personal coaching and then skip the group classes. It's just that much faster. If you get a good coach, it can be 10 times faster in terms of learning than if you were to do even a group class of like 10 people. And I've made this decision for every area of life that I've found important or that I value, like martial arts. And fitness back, last decade, spent a lot of money, maybe too much coaching, but lots of money. Thousands on it. And it was just saved so much more time and effort of reinventing the wheel each time. So if you can't, just get that coach. Every year I get almost 6 figures in my own coaching that for myself, that I invest in myself, in getting mentors and coaches and private teachers in finance, in business, in, of course, therapy. I have my own therapy supervisors. I do constant therapy trainings all around the world. And right now, all around the world via Zoom. And then, of course, I invest in our team to get as much of that coaching for them as they can. And then, of course, all the fitness and any hobbies. If you've done this in your own life, you know how great a private coach can take you, how much faster it can go. So coaching. So the first C is consistency. One of the best ways to get consistency is coaching. And then one of the other best ways to get consistency is community. And if you can't afford the coaching, you can always get group coaching. You can always get coaching. Basically, coaching, the principle is you get someone who's gone ahead and can show you what the pitfalls are. And ideally, you're paying that extra for the private coaching to just focus on you and your own weird preferences or weird, background, right? So that's how do they customize it for you. But any kind of coaching. So imagine somebody just not getting any real instruction and just trying to figure it out. Any complex or important skill in life is just going to fall flat without that. And then C, the last C is community. You can take advantage of this community right here. That's why it's so important for us to do. When I discovered this past year the power of community for transformation and realizing, why am I not taking advantage of this for our periodic challenges? We should be doing this. So right here in the Man Up group, we have over 25,000 members here. About half of them are actually active, which is pretty decent percentage, I was told. And that's already like 13,000 or more. And in addition, you've got those people who are participating in these missions alongside you. How amazing did it feel when you went live for the mission and then you started getting likes and comments, and those comments were pouring in, encouraging you or pointing out those parts of what you said that really resonated the most with them, and sharing together and having that connection, even over your phone or whatever device, the internet, especially in this time when everyone's sort of isolated, that you can connect, and this community is what keeps you going. Just the thought of that accountability of, I got to go in to the group and go live now, so I better pay attention and I better step up. And then realizing, hey, I did the past 2 missions, or the past, in our legendary coaching group, we have weekly challenges and missions. So every week you're going, man, like, hey, I got to keep the streak up. I got to keep this going, this momentum. And it's a kind of accountability. And it's an amazing feeling when you connect with a community that brings you up, that supports you and challenges you. And in fact, it's a psychological truth. It's a fact that's been proven through research that our peer group is the biggest factor, external factor, influencing our psychology, our peer group. That is those people that you would change or adapt how you are in order to keep their connection or admiration or respect. And you got to choose your peer group wisely, because most people don't choose their peer group at all. They just get a peer group by accident. Our first peer group was our family, and you can't, no one, well, most people don't choose their families. But now as an adult, you can still love your family, but choose your peer group. Choose those people in your life. And it might just be 3 or 5, or it could be a dozen, or maybe 15 people that you allow yourself actively to be influenced by. And maybe you have people around you or in your life that bring you down and you don't even realize it, or if it's kind of in the back of your mind, you're like, but you haven't really chosen them wisely. Now you can actually choose and craft your peer group by joining these communities, and you can take advantage of that peer group effect. So it's so strong that even the researchers have shown that even peer group members to the 4th degree, so in other words, the friend that you are aware of, friend will still affect you unconsciously. So your chances of being obese, if your friend is obese, is still above average. So like it was still increased 10 to 15%. Same with smoking. It's crazy because you don't even know these people. They're 4 degrees apart. But this has been shown by research. And this is pretty well known in social psych field. And you can look up the Harvard professor, I think he's at Yale now, Nicholas Christakis, and he's done a couple TED Talks that are one of some of the top viewed TED Talks. He's also written a book about all of this called Connected. And this is based on decades of research. So this is incontrovertible. There's no dispute about this, that the power of your peer group as being one of the biggest, if not the biggest, external factor to your success in life and your happiness. So choose your peer group well. And that community is a great way of ensuring, in a kind of passive way, because you don't really have to do much, you just join the community, that they will bring you up, right? So I've talked about this before. Like if you hang out with guys who have so much higher standards in that area of your life, they will force you to step up just to hang with them. They'll keep razzing on you until you get your act together. And it's coming from a place of friendship, right? So they're razzing on you from a good nature perspective. And that will be a great way of just to hang with, just to stay with them. You'll have to bring your level up. And it happens unconsciously. Sometimes, even if you don't want to, it'll happen. So take advantage of those 3 C's: consistency, coaching, and community. I really wanted to pause and tell you these because this is our last day together. And I don't want to leave you just with an emotional high. I'm going to give you an emotional high. Many of you guys have experienced these emotional highs leading into breakthroughs, and that's awesome. Or the breakthrough also leading into an emotional high. These are great, but these are just temporary. Realize that. You shouldn't base your life just on these temporary feelings. You should base them on truth. Once you are able to see that your emotions are based on your thoughts, then your thoughts need to be based on some kind of truth, some realization or insight that even when there are parts of you that doubt it, you're able to point at the thing that is true. One of the truths that you can hopefully experience over the course of these 3 days is that you have vulnerable parts that need attending to, and that you can't just disown them, exile them, or wish them away, or cut them out. That's a truth that even when your feelings are saying, no, I want to get rid of them, realize, you can't get rid of them. They're still there. And the best thing to do is to attend to them. And it feels amazing once you make that choice. But there's going to be times when your feelings lead you in a different direction. There are going to be times when you panic, right? There are times when you are feeling overwhelmed, especially, I'm sure this year, we've all felt that. And if we give in to our feelings as if we can't control them, as if we're just looking for the next temporary high, we will never be fulfilled or happy. Our happiness is now no longer in our hands, but in the hands of some capricious God or destiny, whatever the heck happens to us. Instead of realizing that if you master these skills that I've been covering these 3 days, that now you are the master of your own thoughts leading to these emotions, that you're able to bring yourself back to equilibrium or balance or harmony through these emotional skills, right? And that's the powerful thing. And that's why we want to pause and I just want to remind you now of those 3 C's, that even when we're done here with this mission, please go and look for ways of ensuring consistency, of getting coaching and mentorship, of getting into a community that is playing at a higher level than you are in that area, and that will necessarily bring you up. So get that consistency, coaching, and community. And now moving into what we're going to be covering here with integration. I just want to remind you of what a little recap of day one's where we attended to our vulnerable parts. And I brought up the example of Mark, who started off as really being in a kind of bitter place. And even when he's watching very inspirational videos on YouTube or hearing about people who are doing well, or when he sees a happy couple walking by, he gets bitter instead of happy for them. Or he gets bitter instead of desiring to do better or be better. He gets bitter and resentful of them. He starts to hate them. And he starts to get angry. And I know a lot of people, and a lot of men especially, because they're blaming a lot of their own loneliness on societal structures that they can't even influence. And they're just blaming these things, just full of blame, all this hate, all this resentment, all this bitterness. What good is that doing them, right? And I understand if you're coming out of being cheated on or something like that. Okay, so if that's a reaction to some trauma and it's a trauma response, we allow that. Of course, you must allow whatever is happening, but realize that that's not going to help you to grow if you stay with that energy. And so on day one, we went to those parts that were feeling the pain, and we realized that we helped you see that. Hopefully that resonated with many of you. And I know if you're in active achiever mode, maybe you were in denial of it, but that there are parts in all of us that just want to be lazy. There are parts in all of us that want all of those things without having to work for it. And kind of resentful for all those people who get it easy. And this is the dangerous part, I realized through coaching so many people around the world that there are plenty of people who, when they see a guy with no arms and no legs, and he's kicking ass in life, that even then they're like, well, they're feeling even worse. They're mad at that guy and resentful and bitter, but then they even feel worse. They're like, I have all my limbs and I have no excuses like that guy does, and I still can't succeed. And so we started with those parts that were getting so frustrated, so lost, and almost feeling like hopeless and helpless, and attending to them and helping them to let go of that bitterness and to begin to feel love for themselves and accessing that higher self in them that can bring that love and care and compassion to them, to those parts in themselves. And we had 2 very moving guided meditations on day one, and we capped those off with some incantations that the more you say them will deeply embed in your unconscious. And the more you say those incantations of love, of reminding you that all you need is within you now, of thanks and gratitude and forgiveness and love, and sending those messages and emotions to those parts that are feeling hurt and pain, that they begin to let go of their burdens and change and begin to shift now and relax back. And on day 2, and just to cap it off, so Mark, as he learned that lesson and went through that period of learning to let go, eventually, gradually unburdening himself in those parts of that resentment and bitterness over the weeks, he then was able to be in a place of great fulfillment and joy. And it was just behind it. It was like, just get rid of the barrier and boom, there you go. All you need is within you now. And it's just, and sometimes those parts, because they have to get in the practice also of relaxing and trusting. But as they do, it gets easier and easier to access that joy and happiness and love and to feel like they can relax back. That was day 1. And day 2, we then addressed the parts that really enjoy the challenge and the edge of the comfort zone. And we addressed also the fact that sometimes they can be critical and judgmental. And you can have this inner critic. It's always beating you up. And it's coming from a place of shame, unfortunately. And we want to go to those places where there is that shame locked up, that they're in denial of and repress. And we want to allow them to let go as well of all of that neurotic functioning. And hopefully they were listening in on day 1 and also understood how hard they were being on those other parts of you that hold all the play and spontaneity and childlike qualities that are also very attractive. Guys who are trying to get women, though, you need those parts if you want to be an attractive guy. I just want to remind you, if you walk into a date with this achiever guy, right, the achiever part, right, you just be thinking about your resume and why you deserve her because of all the hard work you've done on your body or your money or whatever it is. Or the worst combination of those, an achiever who's also a pleaser. And so this guy will, like we saw a question in the Man Up group, the guy will, on the first date, just to please her so much, he'll go and, oh, yeah, you lost your sweater. Oh, I'll buy you a new one. Oh, you lost your ring. I'll buy you a new. But yeah, I mean, like, we can get to that point when we haven't understood the neurotic fear of the achiever of not being good enough unless he earns it and achieves it. So let's relax back and allow the fact that there are things that all of these parts really enjoy doing, that they do them because they enjoy them, not because of, not out of fear that they're not enough if they don't excel. And then reminding all of your team, all the parts, that it all begins with this decision and getting good at making these decisions and then taking an action to follow through. And we capped off yesterday with that. And today we're going to integrate all of these parts and even introduce you to some very powerful parts you may not even know are in you, but that have been passed down in our DNA as guides or archetypes that have a great wisdom for you. And it's not something that you can talk about. You can talk about it. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. It's a lot more helpful if you experience it for yourself. Okay, so we're going to be doing a guided meditation on that. And I'll also be integrating some timeline therapy to help you to see and access these guides and in you and these archetypal parts. And I guess this is all preamble for that. So we're going to dive right into that soon. Let me just check in here with comments. Hey, Jonathan. 2021, the best of my life. Yes, let's do it. Hey, Andrew, good to see you. Matthew and Josue, good to see you guys. Just let us know where you're tuning in from too. It's nice to connect and just be reminded of where everyone's tuning in from. And also allow me to take a sip of water. Okay, so let me just see if there's anything else I needed to. Okay, great. And yes, I wanted to also mention the relationship between, just briefly, archetypes and your guides and the true self. So you've been hearing a lot about what your true self really is over the past few days. And it's not what, hopefully now you see, it's not what most people think it is. So the term true self, it turns out, is a trendy word, a buzzword in among millennials. To them, it often means something like just like your authentic self. So it means something like just doing and saying whatever the fuck you want, right? So it's this sort of rebel energy. Okay, so then when you say, hey, just be your true self on a date, it can mean either crying spilling your guts on the date, or trying to make her, like, emotional blackmail her through that, or just being like your most needy self. And they're like, why isn't she liking me for that? Or it means something like being really angry and triggered and taking like this kind of bully tyrant, or like a little kid who's just like a high chair tyrant, as the therapists call it. That's not your true self. Those are all wounded parts of you that are acting out of fear. And that doesn't mean that they're not valuable. Those are all parts of you, so they're all valuable, but they need some attention. And hopefully the past few days, you've discovered how to, or I've shown you a little bit about how to do that. And I have other courses that will walk you step by step through all of these skills that I've been mentioning, and a lot more, including all the dating skills that I think are still necessary, but should come towards the end of your therapeutic journey, not at the beginning, like most guys do it. Once you have gone through this process of loving yourself, of valuing yourself, of being able to meet your own emotional needs of love, of connection, of significance, of certainty, of variety, of play, of competence, being able to meet all of your needs in a full way, and then moving into flirting with some humor, or injecting some more sexual energy into your interactions, or knowing when to say no to a girl playfully when she starts to test your boundaries or something, because she's gotten away with it for a while and not because she's malicious. And then even being able to spot when it's malicious and manipulative on purpose, and being able to just walk away from that. All of the real, like, being able to apply good dating skills is predicated on having a strong emotional foundation. Unfortunately, the guys who spend most of their time studying the dating skills have a relatively weak psychological foundation and need their own emotional well-being and health. So it's sort of like, I guess, a guy who specializes or spends a lot of time thinking about fancy martial arts moves like spinning kicks or something, but is horrible on strength and conditioning and has horrible, cardio or whatever, right? Or just bad form. I don't know. So that, I'm kind of stretching that analogy, but that's all those courses on dating, everything you need to know to make that date work, all the shit you need to do to hook it up and all that. It's all covered in my catalog. I have over 21 courses and more. I got a new one coming out in early next year, January, and we're working hard to release that. It's in beta right now, and based on that, it's just been incredible. And it's going to use some brand new, innovative ways of helping you with your dating. So I'm looking forward to launching that. And that will be also part of Platinum. So anyone who gets Platinum has access to all of my current courses, everything I've done for my whole career, and then everything we do in the future. So it's just pay one price, you're done for the rest of your life. And some of our Platinum partners have passed down their access to their sons, which is cool. So it's multi-generational, and it does represent all of my whole career in this area of dating, relationships, of emotional and psychological well-being, of masculinity, and improving your own centeredness or groundedness, and all of that. It's all in there. So that is all part of what you can have access to and use as skills. And without the true self being in leadership of your parts, none of that will actually matter. So along the way, these 2 days and today, is actually accessing your true self is not as straightforward as people think. It's not about just letting out all of your anger and bitterness or letting out all your neediness. Those are parts holding those feelings. Those aren't your true self. Your true self is, as I've said before, full of courage, of confidence, of care, of connection, of centeredness, of creativity, of calm. So your true self actually has all of these qualities, like a higher self within you, like a divine self in you. And it is accessible as the other parts relax back. So as the players on the field settle down and maybe come to the bench and stop like fucking around, then the coach is able to come out and be heard. All right. So that's a big part of the process of allowing your true self to emerge, is settling down the parts, so that there's that minimal level of trust that they need, the trust in the self, the true self, so that the system, the team needs in order to hear the voice of the coach. So regardless of how far away you are from your true self, all of what we've been doing these 3 days is helping to bring out more of your true authentic self. And one of the greatest tragedies is attracting a woman and getting into a relationship with a woman where you presented yourself as a false self. And it turned out that false self was a persona covering up for these deep insecurities that you're deathly afraid of revealing, and that she actually falls in love with or gets attracted to that false self. And if you're doing that, and the majority of people are doing that, they're going to attract a woman or partner who is doing the same thing. So it ends up being two false selves connecting. And then guess what happens? You can't keep that up forever. It's a matter of a few months, a few years until those false selves crumble. And now we're dealing with parts that don't accept each other, because they're already, if you're presenting a false self as your default part, that means that there are parts of you that you've disowned, that you've exiled, that you've forgotten about, excised, cut out, and that you'd rather not feel again or not have around. And guess what? You can't keep that going forever. And the more intimacy there is, the more into you she shall see. That's like some weird Austin Powers thing. So, but like, it's true though. The more time you spend together, the more you want desperately to let your guard down, and then she will see those parts of you that you are ashamed of, and you will see that in her. And because you have not accepted your own shamed parts and leading with the false self, guess what's going to happen? You're going to judge her exiled parts, and she's going to judge your exiled parts. And then there's just going to be all this conflict. And it's almost like, if you've been in a relationship like that's fallen apart like that, you wonder, how did you even have any chemistry at all at the beginning? It was like a long ago dream of how you guys fell in love, because it seems so different now. And the reason is because we are not just one thing. We are a conglomeration. We are a team of parts. And most people's teams are in disarray. And in this meditative exercise, we're going to discover that there are these hidden guides that aren't your true self per se, but they are wise. There are these parts in us that have been passed down, I believe, through DNA. I mean, that's the theory, but they exist. And I've yet to see this disproven, but maybe you're somebody who doesn't have guides, but hold out the hope that maybe you do, and go through this meditation with the possibility that you do. And it's pretty well known that there are archetypes in us and some of the most well-known are of the king, the lover, the magician, and the warrior archetypes. And these are parts of us. These are basically neural pathways, sets of patterns of neural pathways that when we access them, we can lock into or tap into ages old parts that exist as they're passed down through those who won the evolutionary game. And you can kind of see how powerful these are because of how hard it is to still exist in 2020, considering our ancestors, our forebears, how much they had, the chances of their genes making it down to this time, right? So even if you don't know this science, I've written about it quite a few times, that the science has shown that only 1 out of 17 males versus, almost every female, but 1 out of 17 males has left his genes in the gene pool. They can tell this through DNA testing, that's how competitive it was. And you can see this even just in the written histories of the kings having 300 concubines, 600 concubines, whatever, it's 300 wives. Like this is what was the spoils of being the top guy as a result of the agricultural revolution and the accumulation of land ownership. What happens is the elite, it gets really skewed. And the top guys, and even now, probably you don't realize this because it's not legal, and it's not legal to marry in many countries more than one woman, but it's also not socially accepted. But leading up to that period when a woman finally settles down, there is a majority, there's a minority of guys who have been with a majority of women. And that's just part of the 80-20 rule. And that now with birth control, the results of that have changed. But birth control was in the past less than 100 years. So all of this other human history, it was incredibly difficult. It's incredibly difficult for these genes to make it, your genes to make it to this point. And those genes that you got in you, those genes have the king, the warrior, the lover, and magician, because those were incredibly effective in the evolutionary game. And that's part of the reasoning for me to understand why it seems so prevalent that we can access them pretty easily. In fact, I have a whole course, and I have also embedded in a more powerful way. So I have a mini course that it was so impactful that I broke it off and made a mini course called Core. And then that was originally part of a whole big course on masculine mastery that goes even deeper on the hero's journey and all of these other aspects of masculinity. And of course, those are all part of Platinum Partnership. And those are archetypes. Now, if you've done Core or if you've done Rock Solid Relationships, you understand what those archetypes are. But you probably don't realize that you also have other archetypal parts, that you also have other spiritual guides. And I have other meditations that will lead you to discover those. And we're going to be discovering some of those here together right now. And pretty excited about this one. I redid it earlier today and I was like, this is pretty good. And hopefully you will, if you can pay attention, it's about 20 minutes, that's all, actually a little less than 20. And it will help you through timeline therapy and other therapeutic methods like reparenting. It will help, and guided imagery, lots of guided imagery. It will help you to discover these spiritual guides that are full of wisdom already in you, that maybe you have been doubting, or you have been ignoring, or you have just been blind to, or just blocked you got earmuffs on to these parts. And this guided meditation will help you to encounter them. So without further ado, let's get into it. Oh, Angel says he loves hearing the MMA analogy. Awesome. Angel says, oh, it's morning for you. Reading You're the One You've Been Waiting For. Love all the booklets. Awesome. I also have behind me, I don't know, you probably can't see the resolution on this video. Probably can't let you see these titles, but I recommend all these books behind me. All right. So these are more of the personal ones, but these are, I recommend. So the one you mentioned there, You're the One You've Been Waiting For, is right here. Okay. Awesome. Let's get into this. If you are driving or doing anything complicated, obviously put that aside. Driving, pull over. Okay. We want you to, it's ideal if you listen to this with headphones. There are going to be times when the background music will just be underneath my voice, so you want to listen closely. And if your mind wanders, again, it's okay. No big deal. Be gentle with it and just bring it back. If you notice your mind wandering, just bring it back. Okay. You also have this as a replay for the next few days. So you can, if you miss any key parts, you can always come back and redo it. Okay. So no pressure around that at all. And just go for it. Go for it. Oh, towards the end, there's going to be some embodied cognition. And yes, yesterday and the day before, I went into why it's so important to use your physiology to activate your brain, your thoughts and your feelings. Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of that towards the end and just go for it. All right. So there's going to be a part where it says stand. Now, if you're in a car or something, I get it. You don't have to stand. Maybe just sit taller like you're standing. Okay. So, but if you can stand, that'd be great. And there are going to be parts when it says like celebrate or something like that. So just lift your hands above your head and let the blood circulate and kind of do a kind of like celebration, and just keep it up for a few seconds at least, because it'll give you a biofeedback loop into your brain and tell you, yeah, you're feeling good, celebrating. Okay. So there's just a little bit of that at the end, a lot less than embodied cognition the past 2 days. So this is a really gentle one. It relies a lot on guided imagery. So it's pretty gentle. Just sit back and relax and enjoy it. Okay, let's dive in. And again, if you're operating any machinery, put that aside and pull over. And I'm going to play DJ here. So just give me a second as I adjust all the video stuff. Okay. And just got to adjust the volume here. So you're ready. Are you ready? Let me know if you're ready. I know there's a 15-second delay on the video from when I can see it on Facebook, but let me know when you're ready. Is anyone ready? Is anyone giving me a thumbs up or a heart or just post? Yes. Let me see it. All right, I'm not gonna do it until you give me some action here. Any engagement, even if you got an angry face, that works too. Any kind of engagement. Are you ready for this transformational process of integration, of bringing together your parts of you throughout your life, of discovering those more vulnerable parts as well as those more achiever or powerful parts? All right, Jonathan says he's ready. William says he's ready. Tang Chun's ready. All right, you guys are ready to go? Then I am ready. Let's do it. Okay, so here we go. Take a nice deep breath in, deep breath out. Close your eyes. What I'd like you to do is to imagine with me for a moment that you are outside and you are walking up high on a tall ridge of bright, lush, green grass. It's a beautiful day outside. Blue skies, not a cloud in sight. That crisp air, almost like it's autumn, refreshing. It's cool outside. You're walking on this ridge overlooking this beautiful green valley beneath you. You're a safe distance from the edge, but you're near it, and you're walking in the deep green grass, barefoot. And you feel that cool, lush grass beneath you, just walking forward on this ridge, enjoying the crisp day, the crisp air, the bright, beautiful day, and you feel lifted. You feel alive, happy. You're in a good place. Life is good. You feel at peace, but vibrant, almost like you have a body buzz, electric, and you're walking forward. And as you look down on that valley and all these green hills up and down throughout the valley, you look down and you see that first hill a little behind you as you're standing. Down on that hill, you see this little child running up that hill, skipping up to the top of the hill. You can see that little one is in a joyous place, having fun, laughing, and running to the top of that hill. The little child gets to the top of the hill, spinning in circles, laughing, with its arms out wild. You can see the child is in that moment of play and presence, and joy and innocence. that only children have. And you see that child spinning around and turns and looks up at you, and you see in that child's face your own. And you see yourself as a little child, alive, vibrant, playful, innocent, joyous, as all children are at some point, no matter what, before anyone bothered them, before anyone got to them, before anyone told them they couldn't. That moment of imagination, possibility, innocence, play. The little child looks up at you, smiles, hi, and waves at you. And you see yourself smiling at the child, and the child smiling up at you, and you find yourself waving, hi, little one. And the little child points at the hills and says, keep going, have fun. And you find yourself waving, and you feel yourself taking another step forward in the lush green grass, kind of uplifted, and the joyous play in your mind about the innocence and joy and wonder of life. Taking a step forward, and you see the little one smiling at you, and you walk forward, and you see another hill down there. Atop that hill comes charging up, standing strong and tall, a young teenager, standing in that cocky way. Atop that hill, that teenager looks up at you, smiles, and you see in that teenager's eyes the recognition of yourself in that young, rebellious stage when you said, it's my world. And you see that young, rebellious you look up and say, you keep going. Don't you worry what they tell you. Don't you let them hold us down. You go. You be you. Don't fit in. Don't do what they say. You be you, damn it. You be you. And don't you ever forget that. And that teenage you points down the hills and says, keep going. And you feel yourself stepping forward in that lush green grass, strong, tall, walking forward, and you look down and see another hill. And at the top of that hill, you see you, today. You standing there looking up at yourself today, as if looking in a mirror. There you are, but you see yourself standing tall, proud, ready. And the you of today says, it's your time. You have to act today. Day points back and says, whatever happened there isn't going to take us forward. And you feel a strength inside of you, knowing it is indeed your time. And you see, as you look at yourself, a strong, vibrant, present, caring, and ready you. And that you points forward down the valley and says, go. Now, into the future. Go. Go now. You are ready. You don't need anything else. You've been through enough. It's your time. So, walk one step at a time. And you feel yourself step forward on that beautiful, lush green grass. Big blue open sky. Take a deep breath in of that crisp, beautiful air. And you feel yourself walking forward, slow and steady, sure, and excited for what's coming, the magic of what's coming, knowing the magic of tomorrow is beginning today. And you feel yourself step forward, looking down on the hills, and you see on those hills down there another you, another future you, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years out. You look a little more road-tested, but standing strong on top of that hill. And you keep walking, and you see that you on that hill pointing forward saying, go. And take another step as you're walking forward, and you come to another hill. And on that hill you see another you. Looks like 10 years older. And that you at 10 years older says, you won't believe how good it gets. You won't even believe how good it gets. And you feel yourself stepping forward with excitement hearing that. Looking down on another hill, maybe 15, 20 years ahead, and there you are, smiling again. And you see yourself in the future with your hands up in victory on that hill. You walk again, your hands up in victory on top of that hill. And another one, your hands up in victory on that hill. And another one, your hands up in victory on that hill. And another one, your hands up in victory on that hill. And another one, your hands up in victory on that hill. You take another step forward with all victory, and you feel yourself lift off, up into the air, flying up into the air, way up in the air, flying forward, speed, faster, going, sailing into the future, up in the air, flying forward. You feel yourself sailing, seeing all these hilltops with you, hands up in victory, 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 victory. And you start slowing down, and you get way up above the valley, way into the future. And as you're floating up there, you see this big, beautiful green hill at the end. A gigantic, huge, beautiful tree. And you land softly onto that hill. And you walk to the top of the hill, slowly feeling the cool, lush, green grass beneath you. And as you get to the top of that hill, and underneath the tree, you look out in front of you, and you see all of these people on picnic blankets, just sitting there having a beautiful picnic on this crisp, gorgeous day. And as you walk beneath this tree, you see these people on their picnic blankets, and you look down at their faces, and you start seeing friends, family, loved ones, even some of the ones you lost a while ago, but they're there now, all smiling up at you, smiling up with joy in their faces. You see that everyone there is really happy to see you. So happy to see you, really smiling. You feel joyous, and you look at all these people smiling at you. And at the edge of the blankets, you see somebody suddenly stand, and that person turns and looks at you and walks forward to you. And this older person walks up to you, looks you directly in the eyes, smiling. And you recognize an older you, a happy, peaceful, older you. And the older you smiles and says, "Hey kid, you did great. You lived a good life. And that's why we're all here, to celebrate you, to love you, to thank you for living your best life, for showing up and bringing value to the world and to all these people. I'm proud of you, kid." And the old you takes you by the shoulder and walks you over beneath the tree, looking back at all the hills down the valley, And the older you puts an arm around you and says, "Hey kid, to get here, live this good life, there are a few things you're going to have to change back there when you get back to today. A few things you should stop doing. They've been holding you back, and you know it, and it's time to stop doing them. But you know, kid, you can do it. And just as there are things you have to stop doing, there are things you have to start doing. You know what they are. And when you start doing those things, you feel more like who you really are. I look forward to seeing you again, kid. You've done a good job. You've lived a really, really good life. Now it's time for you to go back to today. You lived a good life, and we're all proud of you. By God, we love you. You are so loved. And the older you embraces you and holds you and says, "It's your time, kid. Now get back to today." Embraces you and you feel yourself walking back underneath the tree. A little down the hill you look back and everyone back on the hill is smiling, joy in their faces, waving at you, pointing back to today, saying, "Go back, live a good life, have fun." And you feel yourself walk down the hill and up the ridge, and at the end of the line you walk up the ridge, you feel yourself walking with joy in the cool, lush grass, seeing all those people with their hands in victory, walking smooth, confidently, happy, with the bright, crisp air filling your lungs, ready to go back to today, to have those victories, to have that life. Walking forward on that ridge, you feel spirited, ready, that this is your time. And as you walk forward, you feel yourself getting lighter in the air, lighter in how you feel, lighter, lifted up from the ridge, up in the air, up high, sailing up, flying back to today, sailing above all of those yous with victory, 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 flying, sailing above it all the way back to today, victory. You see yourself floating up above it all. And then you see beneath you the whole world, all of these other valleys, all of these other hilltops. And you float in the air and you feel connected, seeing all these other people's journeys, all these other people on their hilltops, celebrating their lives. And you realize we are all on the same journey. And you feel connected, joyous, grateful. You feel the presence within your heart, floating above it all, realizing we are all here, connected in the beauty of this world. And you feel yourself floating in a space of beauty and thankful. Gratitude fills your heart as you float gently, softly, safely back to the ridge where you began, back to today. And as you land softly to today, you feel the cool grass beneath you, and you see on the hill down there, you today. And there you are again today, looking up at yourself with a big smile. And as you see you today, different from before, in the eyes of you today, standing at the top of that hilltop, strong, powerful, confident. You see a different level of strength in those eyes than you've ever seen. You see a stronger you than you've ever seen before. And you know that today is the day, that this is the moment, that you, the best of you, the strongest of you, the greatest of you will stand, and that greatest of you will move forward, No one will slow you down. No one will hold you back, because it is your time. And you feel the grass beneath you, and you feel yourself in this room. You feel yourself here in this room. You can shuffle your feet, and you can feel that you're in this room, ready, strong, knowing that now here back on earth, back in this room, back in this moment of time, is your time of victory, is your time to begin now. You feel this so much in your body, this energy, this readiness, that it's your time, that you feel it now in this room with your eyes closed. You know that it is time to stand, that it is time to stand in this moment, in this room, with your eyes closed, to push back from your chair and stand in strength with total confidence in this moment. That this is your time, with your eyes still closed, standing in all of your glory, with strength, with arms up in victory, knowing that this is your time, that this moment is indeed your time, so much that you feel in your heart, in your soul, in your strength, in your vibrancy, in your presence, right now, this moment, here today, here in this place, it is your time. And you shout with me out loud, it's my time. With strength and power and conviction, you shout, it's my time. As a declaration of who you are now, that now is your moment, that you shout, today's the day. With arms up in victory and belief, today's the day. 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 And you shout with arms up in victory and belief, today's my day. 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 Open up your eyes. Today is your day. Congratulations. This is your time. How was that for you? As you're gently coming out of that, share with us how that was for you. How did that feel? What did you experience? What did you discover as a result? I'm going to put on another song here. And as I'm waiting, I know there's a 15-second delay between your sharing and me seeing it. So I'm going to wait a little bit. And we're just going to play a little bit of music here. And hopefully it's nice and quiet. Nice. Yeah, go ahead and share. Oh, Steve says it was awesome. Great to hear that, Steve. Great to hear that. How about for the rest of you? How did that land? How did you experience that? Any insights or anything that you that you heard? That any answers you got? Any kind of advice? Any phrases that came up? Any feelings in the body? Steve says, man, felt a rising feeling in my gut and my heart too. Great. Jonathan says, today is my day. That's right, man. Today is your day. Next year is going to be your year too. If you take action with these, if you develop the right habits, if you keep this going, that's awesome. That's right. Okay, cool. And continue to share there as I'm just going to continue to tell you more about what you've just experienced. That meditation in a really gentle, enjoyable way introduce you to timeline therapy, one version of it, and ways of discovering these insightful, wise guides within you. Tang Chun said, like a weight lifted off of me. Beautiful. John says, motivated and hopeful are the two things off the top of my head. Oh, that's great, man. Angel says, I feel empowered. Today we are burying my mom and I feel strength to uplift family grieving. Oh my God. Yeah, I saw your live video in the Man Up group and that was one of the most moving things I've seen on Facebook Live. So for those who haven't, you also did a botched, like a, what do you call it, a live that you did a little bit and then it cut off, and I saw that as well. I saw you repeated, and that was very moving as well. Just the raw emotion, and I felt you, man. So for those in the Man Up group who are participating in the challenge, I highly recommend you just go and see Angel's live video and just give him some props and some support, and just see some really powerful vulnerability. Big props to you, Angel. Andrew says, the theme song for this meditation is Meg Myers running up that hill. The biggest insight I got was to stop waiting. Vibe reminded me of Nightmares on Wax. Okay, cool. I'm not sure of that last reference, but it looks like it was good. To stop waiting. Exactly. It's a good one to get. John says, there's a glitch in the matrix. My walking in the field kept going in and out of. Oh, that's interesting. Often what that means when you're coming in and out of focus when you're doing guided imagery is that there are other parts that are coming in to block what's happening, maybe because they don't want to go inside and discover and uncover some of the vulnerability, because they're afraid that will lead to further pain, of uncovering some repressed pain or repressed emotions. So that's a sign that you would benefit from some psychotherapeutic processes or working with a good therapist. So that's valuable. Anything that comes up is valuable that way. You might also have parts that just blank or block or numb or cause you to become distracted. So that's another another fear reaction from other parts. It could also be that you're seeing yourself from a second person perspective and you're going in and out. And that's often because there are parts trying to vie for the control seat, the command center of your consciousness. And that's a common experience from parts that don't want to give up control to the higher self. So this is the example of the players that don't want to listen to the coach and they just keep hogging the ball from each other. So this is another good reason to go through the psychotherapeutic process. And William says, my neighbor from the bottom did not like creaking floor. Okay, all right. I guess you were jumping up and down or something. That's cool. You went full out for it, man. Dipto says, beautiful again. Got tearful and emotional at some points. However, words did not come out as strongly towards the end, like I was a bit out of steam. I get it, man. You've been riding with us for 3 days, so it makes sense that you might run out of some steam. And I appreciate just going full out and doing it. And again, like you said, you realize you got the replay, so you can redo it again. Excellent. Angel says, God bless to you all. And oh yeah, William says, thank you for mentioning private therapy. I would have done it after finishing reading the book. Okay. And I did the small action 1 hour after saying yes at yesterday's meditation. Oh yeah, you reconnected with your therapist. Excellent. But after the meditation, I decided to precipitate the action. Wonderful. That's wonderful to hear, William. That is so great that you took action right away at the moment of your decision to ensure that you follow through. So that was fantastic. So again, these replays will be up until Sunday, so you can redo that one. You can redo that one every day if you like. Just give you that boost, and also to connect with your guides. What'll happen is, as you work more with my material, you'll become quite well acquainted as you do these exercises. And they're not just guided meditations. There's a lot of those, 24 of those, but actually there's 24 that are embodied cognition. And then there's another 15, and I'm working on making another 24 that are more gentle guided meditations you can play without needing to make any sounds or anything, that you just put on and play. That will help you to reach into yourself and discover parts of yourself and integrate and bring more harmony or bring love and compassion to various parts of you. And the more you do that, the more skilled you'll be at it. So anything you do repeatedly becomes a habit, and that shapes your character, and it becomes easier and easier. Like just like automatic reflexes, you keep going down that same groove. You keep going down that same neural pathway, which is actually what literally was happening. The same neural pathways, they become myelinized, which is, in other words, like instead of like a local road with stop signs and all that, if you keep going down it, it becomes like in your brain, it becomes like a super highway with cement structures and a bridge, and you can just shoot right down that much faster. And that's how we learn, we get that muscle memory. But you can do that also when it's not just muscle stuff, but actual skills in the mind. And we did that as children when we learned multiplication tables and other math stuff. It just became second nature. mentally, you can do that emotionally as well. And so the more you do these skills, the more you get in touch with your parts, the more you build the relationship between your higher self and your parts, the easier it will be to just close your eyes, go inside, or even not even with your eyes closed. While you're in the middle of a conversation, you realize, oh, that part that I know quite well is getting triggered now by something the person said, or something that the person did, or something that reminds you of this thing in the past that brought hurt and pain, and this part's happening. And you can do all, if you're very good at it, and the more you better you get at it, the more you'll be able to do that with your eyes open, and then attend to that part and not just get taken over by the emotion, but then with your true self there in leadership to go and attend to your part right there. And this is a skill that you get better at with practice and with training. And I mentioned yesterday the lesson of training over learning. Training is different from learning. Learning, the connotation is you learn it once and you're done. Training is you keep coming back to it and coming back to it. And the more you come back to it, the stronger you get at it. And the more you come back to it periodically, then more new stuff, new insights, breakthroughs, and so on that you will discover, even with the same material, because you have changed as a result of the first pass, second pass through. Then the subsequent, like the 9th pass through, you can pick up even more. And that's the power of training, where you just keep coming back to it. And that's true with all of the important skills in life, but it's also true of the minor skills, where we don't just brush our teeth once and just think we're going to be clean forever, or shower once and clean forever, right? We do this on an ongoing basis because stuff happens, we eat and we get dirt and all this stuff. We got to clean it off. And this is how biological life is. And we are biological beings, and we need to train these mental skills and emotional skills. Okay, let me just turn this off. Okay, let's turn off that music there. Wonderful. So keep sharing any insights or breakthroughs that you experience as a result. Thank you, Floyd, of that meditation. And just pop them in here. I'll keep looking. And I just want to remind you, as we're wrapping up here, of coaching, consistency, and community, and how important it is to look for ways of integrating and creating that consistency through coaching and through community. I have already created this community in the Man Up group of over 25,000 people strong, and they're there to support you, give you advice, hold you accountable, challenge you to move forward, and give you encouragement. And it's been so amazing. I know for those who've been participating actively with our missions, that they've gone inside into the group and posted their live videos and gotten so much great feedback. And how good did that feel? Getting that and feeling the community lift you up and encourage you in your own growth and in your own self-exploration. And how good did it feel to encourage others? Okay, so we're going to be rewarding the top 2 for the last mission today at the end of this. So stay tuned in for the top 2 winners. And we will be also I'll be announcing the grand prize winner. And this is a biggie. This is a big one. So the team conferred quite a bit for this one. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. But before I do, I want to give a shout out to all those who participated in the recent mission. You can find them all in the units tab in our group. And we've tagged some of these videos, but there's several that have not yet been tagged in the units, and they will be done shortly after this live is completed. But I just want to give a shout out to Nate. So Nate, you guys got to check out Nate's video. He shared about halfway through the video his own experiences with the Platinum Partnership. And I really appreciate that, Nate. It's awesome, man. It's lots of gratitude and props to you. And you are, I feel like, a really great role model as well. So awesome, Nate. Keep that up. And Martin too, just displaying beautiful vulnerability. Go check out his live. And Steve as well, one of our winners from yesterday. And Angel as well, another winner from yesterday. I mentioned his before. And Darren too. Great to see you as well. And John. And then there are several more that have gone live since we put the units in there. So we will be assigning them units shortly after this live here. Okay, so I just wanted to give shout outs to all of them. Okay. I certainly tended to it, but generally need private space. Okay, so Andrew's sharing about his attempts to do that. Yeah, so it'll get better as you can embody the part more. At least that's how I've been handling. Okay, so right. So generally, when you're still exploring your parts and building the relationship with them and having your true self come online more often, it really helps to do it privately. Also, it really helps to have a therapist or a guide to guide you through while your eyes are closed. So you don't. It's really hard to do this process on your own, alone, without a coach, without like a guided course where you just close your eyes and just follow along on the prompts or instructions. I know theoretically it can happen, but I haven't seen any good results that way of people who just try to go it alone. So just putting that out there, it's really important. If you try to go it alone off a book or something, the therapeutic processes, don't be surprised when it's really, really hard. I was not able to do it on my own from a book. In fact, I kind of just followed along on I'm very good at reading books and I was a career academic for a big part of my life. So I'm very good at getting information from books. And I thought I got it, but it wasn't until I went in for an immersive 2-week training experience in IFS therapy, in encountering parts in the true self and all that. And these were like 8-hour, 9-hour days that I discovered I really didn't know how to do it from the book and the workbooks and all of that. That it really was a much deeper process that is very difficult to do without a guide. So like get that coach, it'll save you like 10 times the time and effort that you would waste reinventing the wheel or going down the wrong path or investing all this time and effort in the wrong thing or the wrong modality for you, or the wrong approach, or getting maybe even worse, the wrong information that becomes toxic and leads you down a path that you'll have to undo and take a lot of time to undo. And that's what I did as a learning pickup and mastering that. It did get me some important skills and did develop some important parts in me that are still very valuable, all of the parts are valuable and have become valuable to me. But it also led me down a path of kind of toxic narcissism that I had to undo with years of work. So I'm now working, helping hundreds of guys around the world not take that route and take the much shorter, faster, more pleasant and enjoyable, quicker route of the therapeutic process. So just putting that out there, that's important to take that into account. I also wanted to mention, yesterday I had shared the story of Darren, one of my clients, who made that decision in the moment when he saw the window of opportunity arise, and he just took that action as a result of the decision right away. And that coming out of parts that are already loving making decisions, or loving the challenge and getting to the edge of the comfort zone and just stepping one step beyond that. And integrating those parts along with the parts that are in pain or more vulnerable, and they make a great combination together when they have the leadership of the true self in the team, in the system. Okay, so a big part of my work is exactly that. Over the past 3 days, you've had a taste of what my work is like, and I don't want you to just stop the momentum here. I want you to continue. Okay, so the best way to do that is actually the Platinum Partnership, in case you haven't figured that out. And there are several people who've been going live who have access to our Platinum partners. Nate is one of them. And I'm going to be sharing some of the things that they sent me to share with you. But today it is open for registration. It is closing registration on Sunday, December 20th, partly because it includes private coaching. And my private coaching calendar is very full. So take advantage of that. A normal hour private coaching is $2,000 with me. So right now I'm really full. I have coaching clients, multiple coaching clients every day. And they're paying, the rate is $2,000 an hour. So this Platinum Partnership comes with a private coaching call. In addition, the heart of the Platinum Partners is the All Access Pass. You pay one price, you get access to all of my 21 courses, plus all future courses, including the one we are launching in January next year. And this includes all access to all of our dating skills courses, which I know will help you all tremendously, in that it seems like a lot of guys in Man Up need, but even more, they need the therapeutic material, including the psychology and the emotional, mental fitness and health, and the lifestyle programs and the relationship programs are all like over 21 courses that you get access to, as well as representing over 500 hours of video and audio material and PDF action sheets. You get access to everything. And this represents over $80,000 in value when they were sold separately, especially when they were done live you're getting access to over $80,000 of value right there. So this is the best value package by far that I could ever make. And in fact, this started as a kind of like joke on the team, like just to give people access to everything. I'm like, oh, we'll try it out. And what I didn't expect was that these would become my closest clients. These would become my elite clients. These are the ones that I go to when I want to test some things. These are the ones that I'm happy to meet at any time. And I feel almost an obligation, and I feel a deep gratitude to them, because when we first started offering the Platinum Partnership, what was it, like 4 or 5 years ago, the guys who got it then were getting maybe, I think, 12 courses or something like that then. And now the catalog has exploded. They've gotten all these other courses, and we keep adding to them and upgrading, by the way. So Invincible, one of our courses, is now in iteration 5.0, and we're not even done the 5.0. We're going to be updating that again next year. And they have access to all of the upgrades, all of the updates. RSR, Rock Solid Relationships, is in a future iteration that has continued to be updated. We also have the legendary coaching group, where I go weekly live. I go live every week. And on Friday, we're doing an open Q&A. So anything goes, any topic you got that you'd like my advice on. But most of the other weeks we're going through your psychological well-being. We go through lifestyle. We go especially through dating. All of these different areas are covered weekly live. And again, one of the most amazing parts about it is the community aspect. Almost all of these courses have along with them, the ones that are live, we're still actively updating, and that's a big chunk of those, have a private Facebook group. And I go live in those, and they're a great source of support and community and accountability, obviously. So it's definitely a big part of our work. So you can see the details on the link in the description, and you can go check it out. It comes with, I'm just going to mention the courses that it comes with. And let me just scroll down to the list of them here in front of me. There's so many that I can't even recall them all at the top of my head. Okay, here we go. Freedom U. And you know that for those who have heard about Freedom U, it is super comprehensive. This is a course that represents over 50 hours of work, of material, and it involves our most advanced therapeutic material, including a lot of Gestalt exercises. It's just incredible. It's our most advanced, mature single course, Freedom U. And it's an 8-week step-by-step walk you through a course. Our legendary coaching group that I've been mentioning, that's a weekly live coaching group. And Lifestyle Mastery, you can imagine what that's about, Lifestyle Mastery. Limitless, which is our most intensive, over 60 or almost 70 hours of video material on dating. Every technique, every strategy, every method, sometimes even those that I used to teach a decade ago that I wouldn't teach now. I don't have the time to update those. I just leave them there. I think they're all great, but in the wrong hands, and to those who don't have the therapeutic background, it can be actually dangerous to society, I think, because these are really great skills. Sort of like giving a child a shotgun. You got to really prepare them for it. And that's Limitless. It's got some kick-ass dating skills that need to be handled well, properly, because they are powerful weapons. So we don't even sell that anymore because of that, but that is part of the Platinum Partnership. You get access to all of our past, current, and future courses. 10 Weeks to Freedom, which is a crazy, amazing 10-week course. Anyway, so also to get you to experience social freedom, to get rid of your social anxiety, and to supercharge your social life. Rock Solid Relationships, which is all about relationships, how to inject more passion and love and connection, how to find unconditional love in relationship. That's what that's all about. How to give unconditional love to yourself, how to undo toxic shame. That's all in Rock Solid Relationships. And that's a step-by-step 8-week course. And that is bundled with Masculine Mastery, another multi-week course that gets into obviously masculinity, but also covers sex psychology, your testosterone, just all the men stuff. That's all in there. And then, of course, Invincible. Many of you know about our top dating course, which is Invincible, which we are continually updating and upgrading, and we're going to be adding more to it next year. And that is included in there as well. And it is based on accessing those natural parts of yourself that can flow in interactions with women that are naturally attractive. Okay, we also have a weekly coaching course that was even more advanced than Legendary back in the day, and it was called Awakening. So we have 3 years worth of archives in Awakenings. We also have the Aura Elite Club, the Charisma Code, the courses True Self on your true self, Purpose on life purpose, Heart on loving yourself, on curing your neediness, on Drive, a course called Drive on how to access those achiever parts to get success in life, crush those professional goals or any goals that you put in front of yourself. And then the bonus course Core, that's a mini course that's just intensively on your masculine archetypes. We also have access to the courses Conversation Vortex, Styling Secrets for Men, the Perfect Date System, Social Circle Mastery, and all future programs. Okay, this actually represents over 500 hours of material and that are continually being added to, because I do these weekly lives as part of Legendary Coaching Group, and we're continually updating many of these courses. So this is in many ways an investment in yourself, of course, but also in me and my work, because you're saying, I'm going to pay this price, and this is going to go into you making more stuff down the line for the years down in the future for you, as well as for your children, apparently. Okay, so I've just learned about that like this past month, so I'm just getting a kick out of that. Probably shouldn't mention it so many times. Okay, so it also comes with the bonus of a private one-on-one coaching call. Okay, so this is something that usually would cost thousands of dollars for even just 50 minutes of my time. And I have multiple clients in private coaching a day. And this is partly why we have to close on Sunday, because I only have a limited number of slots for the private coaching. We only open the Platinum Partnership, by the way, a couple times a year. So you want to take advantage of this if this is something that interests you. We also have installment plans, payment plans. So if you can't do it in one shot, it's okay. We got payment plans. You can spread it out over several months. So go check out that option as well on the registration page. By the way, we've set it up so that there's a video at the top of the page, and then the information below the video will appear after 10 seconds. This is just to dissuade those people who are just looking to scroll down. We only want people who are serious. And if you can't wait the 10 fucking seconds, we don't want you. Okay, so just a word of to the wise, just wait 10 seconds for all the details below the video to appear. Okay, it also comes with exclusive access to our private Platinum Partnership Facebook community. And one thing I didn't add in there is that I periodically, when I was traveling a lot, I was flying before COVID every other week around the world internationally. And when I'm in a city where I know that there are Platinum partners, I will often arrange a meetup there. So that is another part of the Platinum Partnership. It is also my first go-to group for feedback on future courses and just feedback on our courses in general. So just keep that in mind if that's something you're interested in, of getting access to me personally. This is actually the cheapest way to do it. Okay, so you can do this all with one upfront payment, or you can do it with 5 monthly installments. And by the way, just to remind you, for you being here on Mission Transformation Live, I want to reward you even more, not just with early bird registration, but also this coupon code up above me. I know you probably can't see very well. I just hand wrote that. It's Mission Transformation Live, all caps, one word. So no spaces there. So you can enter that into the coupon code field there to claim your special coupon code. Okay, so here's what to do next. So you can go and check out that registration page. You can write to support@auradating.com if you have any of the following multi-week courses for further coupon codes. So if you have access to or own Invincible, Rock Solid Relationships, Lifestyle Mastery, Freedom U, or annual access to Legendary, or you've been in Legendary for more than 12 months, you can write into or support@auradating.com and you can claim even more coupon codes, and then you can stack them to add up all of those into a bigger discount, and then support will give you your own custom coupon code as a result. We are closing on Sunday. Registration closes on Sunday. And if you have any questions, you can just pop them in here in the comments. I'll get a notification and see that, or you can ask support@auradating.com. Okay, so just letting you know, this is closing on Sunday, so take advantage of this. A big theme in these past 3 days is valuing yourself, loving yourself, investing in yourself. If you know anything in the self-help world, you must know about how often we invest in ourselves to grow. That's an important part of it. But also in the professional world in general, and especially in the finance world, take the example of Warren Buffett, who is one of the greatest investors in history. And what he says repeatedly is the best investment you can make is in yourself. And right now, it's a big question of how much do you value these parts of you? How much do you value your system, your team, yourself? And investing in yourself is the best way to go for future growth, because you're all you got. If you have lots of money, but you don't have you anymore because you died, right? Or you're miserable. And I've worked with people who are worth hundreds of millions and some who have started billion-dollar companies, and they are still working on their mental and emotional health and fitness, because when they came to me, they were miserable, they were lost, had lots of polarizations, they had achiever parts that were in neurotic patterns, and it didn't feel good at all. All of this money, it didn't matter to them. So think about that in fact, the studies show happiness kind of tanks out after a certain point. And the number that Kahneman, the Nobel Prize winning economist, came up with in his studies was around 75,000. I think adjusted for inflation, it'd be about, 80,000, 85,000 now. And beyond that, happiness is like, flattens out. But so many people obsess about more and more and more, millions, and hoping that at the end of that long journey that they don't even really enjoy because it's grind and hustle, that at the end of that, they're hoping they will finally feel like they're enough. And really, it's all about feelings. Just like for going back to dating, for many of you who are interested in getting better at that, one of the problems that you all face, and one of the reasons why it's so elusive to you, is that you're putting all your eggs in that basket, another person's basket of the woman. If you get that woman, then you'll be happy. If you get that woman, you can't be happy without her. But if you get that woman, then you'll be happy. Guess what? That's a lot to put on anybody. That's a big turnoff. But all these guys are putting a woman on a pedestal because she's his answer to life. That will never work. You're not attractive until you can love yourself, until you can value yourself, until you can meet your own needs, until within yourself, you're able to go to those parts that are so feeling those needs quite strong, they're so needy, and able to meet them with love and compassion and meet those needs. Once you're a whole, complete, independent person, then you will be able to succeed in a relationship. You guys liked the MMA analogy. It's like somebody who is really weak and winded all the time, but they keep seeking for the fancy move, and they keep feeling, and even when they find the fancy move, they can't pull it off. And it's like that when people are trying to find something outside themselves to fulfill them. And if it's whether it's women or money or some like appearing on the cover of some magazine or whatever accolades you're looking for, none of those things outside yourself will actually fulfill you in the long run, or heck, even for like a day, a week. Like when you graduated from university, how hard you work for that? 4 fucking years, right? How did it feel to get that diploma? Maybe you I never went to a single one of my convocations because I didn't give a fuck once I finished everything. Just mail it to me. I did pay to get my final one framed, but I got 3 masters and a Ph.D. and I just didn't really care about the paper or the graduation because that's not the point. And that was a big part of me excelling in that area, that it wasn't about the end goal. But so many people work really hard for this 4-year degree so they can get up on the stage, get there with the cap in hand, they get their paper, and woo! And how good did that feel for like, what, an hour? You went and got beers, and then the next day, okay, now you still have to face life, and well, not that different, are you? And then there's a whole other climb, a whole new mountain, right? But people put that off. That's the norm. That's how they approach life, not realizing that wait. If I'm waiting for something external for me to be happy, for me to celebrate, then there's something wrong there. There's something broken there, and it's really about valuing and loving and caring for your own parts, your own self. And being able to do that is the prerequisite to fulfillment and for a love relationship that will last. Okay, so I think I've said enough about that. I want to see if there's any questions about platinum or about what we just did there with that integration exercise. Tung Chun says, I can't overemphasize how important it is to make a regular practice of meditation. I totally agree, absolutely. And John says, that's beautiful, Tang. I look forward to seeing it. Okay, right. So good. There's some nice back and forth here. I'm just going to scroll down to see. Okay, so you guys talking about mindfulness meditation. Okay, excellent. Yes. So keep investing in yourself, keep moving forward. And this is part of the reason why we have this opportunity for Platinum Partnership to invest in yourself and in our future courses, as well as all of our current courses. If you got any questions at all about that, also, if you own any of those other courses that I mentioned, write into support@dating.com, and they will help you figure out what your coupon codes will be and issue you a custom coupon code. Also, take advantage of this one for Mission Transformation Live. Okay, so I'm now going to announce the winners of Mission Day 2. And let's put on some background music as I announce that. And hopefully, nope, this is not yet coming through because I have to do this thing on Zoom. Okay, give me a second. And here we go. Okay, let's see. Can we hear it? Yes, okay, cool. All right, great. So the winners, drum roll, are, let me see. Oh, wait, before I announce the winners, I forgot I was supposed to share, some other guys wanted me to share, well, my team wanted me to share some of these guys who wrote in about Platinum. Do this real quick here, just to help you with your decision. Neil wrote, David's Platinum partnership is the greatest investment I've ever made. Well, okay, well, thanks, Neil. That's pretty straightforward. I love it. John B says, I am 45 years young and an avid martial arts enthusiast. I am married with 2 daughters and live in New York. I have been a platinum member of David's for several years now and have gotten through several online courses of his. You should become a platinum member first chance you get. I've never gotten more for my money with anything else I purchased. Awesome, John. Thank you for that. Andrew wrote, I came from a POA's type background, but I found that they didn't know how to approach emotions or the deeper level elements of psychology that you need to understand for things to be easy and straightforward. A lot of these old concepts like bitch shields are simply surface level knowledge until you understand the deeper level psychology, most importantly, your own psychology. But David doesn't do it in an intellectual way like you might expect. He does it instead at an experiential level. This course is what I had in mind many years ago when I first ran into POA and dating, but I didn't find it until now, several years later. I only found surface level courses, or the ones that did try to address deeper psychology, but didn't know what they were talking about, which makes sense considering the questionable emotional health of the progenitors of those courses. Don't bother with other courses until you have done this one first. The magic of this course is it gives the context you need to put other courses in their place. Unless, of course, you decide to choose another Aura course, in which case you'll get the same benefit. This is it, Chief. Andrew. I think Andrew is on with us, right? Anyway, so this is awesome. Actually, this is Andrew is sharing from one of the courses in the Platinum Partnership. And all of the courses I do go deep. I don't know if you probably can guess that, but they're a lot more than you think. And the transformation will be so deep in your unconscious and the emotional level and the experiential level that it's hard to even describe in words. Okay, and SY shares, the effects of the courses in Platinum Partnership, especially when going through them once more, has reverberated throughout my life. The key things to ask yourself are, what are you in it for? Why? What do you hope to discover? How do you hope to live? What are you willing to put into this to help you achieve these goals? Once you know these things, progress in the courses will help you achieve these things. They will work in the background as you progress, because the more action you take, the more you take seriously the goals you set yourself, and the more transformation you experience, even before the guided meditations take effect. Love it! So my advice is for you to aim high, to believe, to trust, and have faith in the process. What you tell yourself this course will give you is what you'll get out of it. So simply give it your best and believe David when he says the courses will bring you the things you seek. Awesome, SY! And then finally, Jason F. shares, thanks again, David Tian, for guiding me to myself and helping attract the most amazing partner in my life. And thanks to your help during this time of the coronavirus, I'm in quarantine with my future wife. Love you, brother, and hope the best life for you and yours. Awesome, Jason, so happy for you. And thanks for sharing. Awesome. So let's announce the winners for the mission. And here we go. So the Mission Day 2's mission. Our winners are Sam Bowman, and Angel Anaya. Angel and Sam, congratulations. You are both winning access to our course Purpose. Our course Purpose that is all about life purpose. So congratulations, just write to support@auradating.com to get your bonus prize free access to our course Purpose. And congratulations again for your awesome engagement in the mission. And we also have a final big grand prize. And I will announce that just after I remind you that there is a concierge page here. If you haven't gone and seen it, go and see it. It's got the action sheet downloads from the previous day's missions with the action steps. It's got all the information you need. Okay, and then also check out the Platinum Partnership before it closes on Sunday. You also get this coupon code here that you can take advantage of. I think I saw someone type that in there. Oh, Floyd, thank you so much, man. Mission Transformation Live. You just copy and paste that there. One word, all caps, no spaces. And okay, so announcing the big grand prize. I didn't even announce what the grand prize was, but the grand prize is a private coaching call with me. This is worth actually thousands of dollars. So congratulations to the winner of this. And this is our overall prize winner based on our back-end group insights in the Facebook group insights. And that person is John Cove. John Cove, you are the winner of a private coaching call with me. I look forward to working with you. Write to support@auradating.com to arrange your coaching slot. Congratulations. If you step up to Platinum Partnership, you get 2 private coaching calls. So write to support@auradating.com. Congratulations, John. Loved your commitments and engagement in the course, in the mission. And also, I just want to acknowledge everyone who's gone live. Some of you are already platinum, so you knew you weren't going to get any of these course prizes anyway. But you went live, and just to support each other, as well as to share what you've been experiencing and growing with. And every time I see that, my heart leaps with joy. And I'm so blessed to be working with you, to do this as my job. And just seeing the transformation on your faces, and I can just read it. It just means I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So thank you so much for that honor and privilege. And I thank you so much for closing out this year together. This is such an intense time for me and working with you guys. So I hope that you guys are really seeing 2020 in a different light and see the potential of the best year of your life coming up in 2021. And I also just want to remind you, our Platinum Partnership ends on Sunday. You have access to it. You can get registration to it right now on the link above. It represents over $80,000 worth of value, including over 500 hours of course content and video and audio training right now. And includes access to Freedom U, the Legendary Coaching Group, Lifestyle Mastery, Limitless, 10 Weeks to Freedom, Rock Solid Relationships, Masculine Mastery, Invincible, Awakenings, the Aura Elite Club, Charisma Code, True Self, Purpose, Heart, Drive, Core, Conversation Vortex, Styling Secrets for Men, the Perfect Date System, Social Circle Mastery, and all future programs, including the one that we are developing and going to release early next year. It also comes with the bonuses of a private one-on-one coaching call with me. It also gives you exclusive access to the private Platinum Partnership Facebook community, as well as exclusive invitations to our meetups once coronavirus settles down and everything opens up. So all of that is available for 5 monthly installments of $7.99 USD. Or you can save $500 and settle upfront for $34.97 USD. And then you can take an additional $250 off that because you're watching this right now and participated in our mission. In addition, if you have any of the 5 courses of Freedom U, Invincible, Rock Solid Relationships, Lifestyle Mastery, or the annual Access to Legendary, you can write in and get more coupon codes and then stack them for even more discount, and you get your own custom coupon code. So write to support@auradating.com to hook that up for yourself. Okay, thanks so much for being on. Invest in yourself. It's the best investment you can make. How much do you value yourself? This is a great gift to yourself this Christmas. Enough said. And it's been such an honor to be with you these past 3 days. We're going to keep these live videos up until Sunday. So if you want to redo any parts, you're welcome to do so. And please share this. If you got any friends that you think would benefit from it, which is all of them, I know, but if you feel so inclined, I'd be happy if you shared it. And any comments you want to continue to make, any engagement on this video, thumbs up, hearts, even hate faces will help us with the engagement. So I appreciate all of those. Thank you guys so much for being on. These past 3 days have been incredible. Just even think back to how much you've experienced over just 3 days. This can be something that you will do every week. All of this transformation, this growth can happen for you, not just in these 3 days, but every week for years, and paying off all the way down your life, helping out your sons as well and your kids. And this, we also have couples that do our courses together. So this is, anyway, so potential is absolutely amazing and astounding. Go check it out. And thanks so much for all those who are online right now. Steve, Dipto, Angel, Floyd, John. Of course, congratulations again, John. And Steve. Oh, Steve. Tang Chun. Great to see you all on here. And William. All those who are on and have been on. Andrew as well. look forward to connecting with you again in the new year, and hopefully personally, one-on-one through the Platinum Partnership. Okay, so you got till Sunday to sign up, and thank you again so much for being on. Have a great week and day and end of the year for you, and I'll reconnect with you online. Until then, David Tian signing out. Thanks so much. This is the end of Mission. Oh, one other thing. Bonus, I will be coming back on to do a bonus Q&A on Saturday morning, Saturday night, my time. Look out for the announcement for that. I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm just going to go for a surprise bonus Q&A. If you have any questions at all about what we've covered or the Platinum Partnership. And it'll be a short one, just like half an hour or so, 45 minutes. At the same time, 9 p.m. my time, 8 a.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. London. And I'll be on just one other live to cap this all off. But thank you guys so much for being on. It's been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you so much. David Tian signing out.